This is our CS3041 Amas SQL course presentation. The topic was on triggers and SQL as a programming language. So we divided up the work by each person taking one of the 5 topics, with the last person doing the screencast and the voiceover. So the first link we went with was a core link. This is about SQL as a programming language, and we chose it because it gives kind of both sides to the argument, whether it being not a programming language and it being a programming language. So some people would say it's a domain specific language, and that it only caters to a niche of use cases, but really at the end of the day it kind of boiled down to what your definition of programming actually is. The second link we went with was a bit more of a practical link. It's using the PL/SQL extension to actually use SQL as a programming language, and we picked this one because it's clear about how to use it and the other functionality behind the extension, and it actually provides info on how to use SQL as a programming language. And the fact that it's kind of structured like a w3schools.com kind of beginner course is really helpful for if you're just starting out and you want to kind of explore this avenue for whatever reason. The third link we went with is on triggers, and it's from the docs.oracle.com. The reason we went with this one is the illustrations are super helpful for if you're just learning about triggers, and the syntax is easy to understand. The most useful thing is actually examples, because it's hard to understand abstract stuff sometimes, and if you're just given methods, method definitions without examples, it's harder to understand how they fit in, so the examples really help. The fourth link we picked was from the MySQL site. Once again, it's another trigger link, and this one is handy because it kind of acts as a cheat sheet for trigger syntax. So if you've already done the link before and you're kind of a little bit more comfortable with it, it's a little bit nicer if you just have a cheat sheet to reference for method calls and stuff like that. And there's also extensive examples again, which really help to drive home how to use the triggers for drop triggers or create triggers. Finally, the last link we went was from the SQLteam.com. Once again, it's a good starting point, so if you just want to learn about triggers, and again, examples are really helpful when you're learning about this kind of stuff, especially when it kind of goes step by step through the various trigger syntaxes. There's also links to other articles, which is super helpful because more information is better. And the fact that it's divided up into 2 separate parts, one for create triggers and deletion and insertion, and then the second part covers other triggers like update and delete triggers, and then a brief introduction on instead of triggers is pretty cool as well. So that's it. Thanks for listening.